So one of the big themes in our Parshas Shemos, on the start of the Likutei Halachos, one of the big themes in our Parsha is, the way Nosson understands it, and the way it comes out, is changing the Likutei to Keseder. Changing the lack of order, chaos, whatever you want to call it, into order. Be Seder. Everything starts off, right? The Jewish people we were in a very great place. Suddenly comes a king, he doesn't know Yosef. And we're not in such a good situation. He gets this idea, they're trying to take over. Now, were the Jewish people in fact trying to take over? No. Were they matzliach? Did they have successes? Maybe yes, but they weren't trying to take over anything. So what happened? Why is this person going after them? He forgot Yosef, it's very strange. It would be very odd for them to go after Jewish people, but that's very often what happens. The Jewish people have places and times when they're learning from non-Jews and learning values that are not Torah values. So they have problems. Now the truth is there was no intermarriage at that point because of the different things that they were careful to keep separate. And of course I always bring the Maral. The Maral says that the Jewish people are compared to fire. The non-Jewish Jews are compared to water. So when does fire have mastery over water? When they're separated. Right? When you put water in a pot and put it on fire, fire has mastery over water. That means it influences and it picks up and makes it useful, it cooks it up, whatever it is. So now it's not just water, it becomes something better than water. Right? But when you remove the separation, so water quenches fire. And it's the same thing, a person has to be very, very careful. So the more a person learns from non-Jewish ways, goes to idolatry or whatever it is, the more he is in a place that's not a good place. So we want very much to change the not Seder, the chaos, or whatever you want to call it, to Seder. That's our job. Our job is to change the not Seder into Seder. And that's what Nosson says, that's a lot of what, the Halachos that we have to do with the all these different Halachos. You start out with wheat or different, you have to make into bread. You have all these different Halachos in the Melech Shabbos. A lot of that has to do with, again, this idea of finding the Seder and the Locust Seder. Find the Seder, the southern, it's like Locust Seder. It's not, you can't eat the wheat. What do you do with it? Break it down in all these different ways in order to create Seder. The Avodas Halevi says something a little bit different. He says that when you have all these different things, you're breaking down. You winnow out. You do zriya. You throw the. You have to. You let the wind get rid of the shaft, and you get all the different whatever you're doing. All of these things means you have to be able to immerse yourself into pratim in order to reveal more the achdus in the end. He said you can't make bread without first breaking it down to like flour, like this little, right? This little, you have this one unit, then you have the endless, you can't even count how many flour things, little things of flour, grains of flour, it's impossible to count. It's endless, and that's what enables you put the water in and you make a whole matzah of bread. He says the same thing when things are broken down. As because the Apilari numbers, the way they work is ones are lower than tens, which are lower than hundreds, which are lower than thousands. Right? Ones are in Malchus, tens are in Zoh. Right? Hundreds is the Bechin of Abnima, and thousands the Bechin of Keser. Very, very big kids. So what that means is, in terms of a person when he's dealing with the Nefesh Bahamis, the difficulties and all these things, that's more in the places of ones. There's no bechin of a minion, of a 10, of a clarity. If the minute you're dealing with a minion is something much more totally different level, then your person has emotional stability, that things are good, things are connected the way they should be. Hundreds, right? Sorry, Meos is even higher. The bechin of hundreds is like 10 times 10. You have something very, very chazak in the 100. Right? That's why Truma, Trei Meah, this bechin of Meah is a very, very high bechin. When you're dealing with, right? We all say even in the Hebrew, you say you're Meah, you're 100%. This bechin of 100 is like a meridic completion, actually. And then thousands of bechin of Keser, it's very, very, very high, the highest level, which includes all the levels. Right? This, the deepest ruts of a person, right? We say, and Abanima is the aspect of serenity and and a fiery enthusiasm in a higher place. It takes you to a higher place above nature. That's the hundreds. And the 1,000 is the deepest roots and reveal the deepest roots and the deepest desire in a person. So all of these things, you see, you have to break. When you break something apart, that's what creates after. So on Shabbos, again, that's not our job. On Shabbos, you can't make Likutei, and you can't make this aspect of breaking down in order to bring yichud, because the main yichud on Shabbos is going to be in Machshav and Dibur, not in Maisa. That's Maisa is not the big. That's what the Maltaina says. And Shemos is brought in different places. Idea Shabbos, that's the way it works on Shabbos. So therefore, you can't do the Halachos, because it's not a time when action is what you're going to do. You do the actions during the week. That's the time that resembles Lam Haba. It's already the actions have to be done. Whatever you did, you're perfecting. You don't do these actions then. It has to be done before Shabbos. So anyway, this idea of not Seder because Seder really is a theme that goes through the entire Parsha. And again, Nosson says Torah is the Bechin of Keseder. It makes it not Keseder because Torah. That's why it says even Mitzrayim, even the furthest people, the lepers and the Zovin, the people who have different ritual and purity, they learn Torah, and that purifies, because Torah is purifies someone even for the furthest place in the world. And that's also the function of the Eitzes of Tzaddikim, and Tzaddikim, they pick people up from the furthest place. And that's really what's Keseder. So we look at the Parsha from the beginning, you have this whole union of this Paro has this idea as this Jew, again, the Jews were someone assimilating, it's not perfect, whatever it is, and then Paro comes and he's like, let's make this whole situation, let's make the situation where we'll kill out all the boys, there's going to be a whole epidemic, he sends them the elders, they don't want to listen. His Lokaseder didn't work out with them, so he did different things. He did this. He's trying different things, and each situation. Moshe Rabbeinu is born. He's the goyal. He has to be Lokaseder. Right? He's put on the Nile. And as it works out, the Hashgacha, his mother raised him. And then the first power has to give him a test. Maybe he's the goyal. So the Malach makes sure it's Lokaseder. He's reaching for the gems. There's a coal and a gem. Let's see if or the crown, whatever it was. And he hit the burning coal. He becomes. His Kvad Peh, he stutters, he can't speak properly. So you'd assume the Goyal would be the ultimate perfection of speech. It's like, no, he is the ultimate perfection of speech, but in this world, he seems to be the opposite, because everything's Shalei Keseder. Everything's not in order. Then you go further throughout the Parsha, and you see that everything happens. Again, Moshe Rabbeinu, he sees someone trying to kill. Right, this was the one lady who was she was not acting properly. She didn't plan on having an affair with this Egyptian, but the Egyptian made sure it happened anyway, and she had a kid with him, whatever it was. It wasn't so great, right? And he wants to beat up her husband. Moshe Rabbeinu stopped him, checks, make sure there's no special relative, set up as a shame that if he wasn't he wasn't on the level mamish. Wasn't some reason why Mashkach they wanted to live, he'll die, he'll be elevated that way, whatever, the guy dies. And then Moshe has to run for his life. What did he do? He only saved the other guy's life. Doesn't matter. Run for his life. The Jewish people are he hears Nosson Aviram, right? That he chaps, you're going to hit him like you hit him, like he understands people know, they come after him, he runs away. And, he goes, Yisrael, all these different situations. The truth is that Midrasha, that he was like, all these unbelievable things happened to him. Unbelievable things, everything like this, crazy situations with him, and finally he gets involved with. He marries his wife Tzipporah, and he Hashem says, okay. He sees this bush that's burning, it doesn't burn, right? So he says, no. Hashem says, will you bring redemption? And he said, what do you mean? How am I going to bring redemption? He doesn't feel worthy. He doesn't feel like he can. Maybe I will be jealous. Whatever. He has a whole cheshbon. Everything's fighting with him. Everything seems to be the opposite of what you'd think. And finally he comes and he gives him the simon what the simon is supposed to be. Right? Ekesh lachani, and again, like I think we did last year, if we remember, like the Tzaddik who said, I think it was Tzaddik who says that, he says, so if everyone knew the simon, what's it worth? We all know that. Oh, sure, anyone who wanted to come. He says, no, they felt inside that it was a time. He says it and then they all know. It's not just saying the words, you have to connect. And they all connected up. So what happens after that? Paul's like, oh, they're lazy. What? He's like, yeah, they're lazy. Give them more work. Take away the straw. It's like, what's going on over here? Well, everything seems to like a Seder. You have to change everything around, make it a Seder. That's a very big theme. And again, that's a person in his own life. We have to get out of Mitzrayim. We have to change the local Seder into Seder, and that's what we do through learning the Likutei and connecting to Atzim Tzadikim and davening to Hashem and doing everything we can to get out of this place of Mitzrayim. Hashem shall be zoche to the or of at least the Gula Prati, our personal redemptions, that we're able to leave our own version of Mitzrayim, all the Mitzorim, all the constrictions, and connect to Hashem. Them,